A sealed report from the North Dakota State Hospital in Jamestown, in a somewhat rare finding, has found Troy Larson of Larimore, North Dakota, not criminally responsible because of mental illness. Larson was charged with murder and attempted murder and other charges in the shooting and killing of Jamie Hallweger in Larimore last March, and then shooting at law enforcement before he was shot and wounded. That ruling stops the planned trial of Larson, and a court hearing later this month will start the process of determining what to do with Larson. It's possible he could simply become a ward of the state and remain at an institution. For background on all this, here's our original reporting from March of 2024.
Grand Forks County Sheriff Andy Schneider has identified the victim of a murder in Larimore on Saturday as 64-year-old Jamie Hallweger. The suspect, 43-year-old Troy R. Larson, who is still currently hospitalized after being shot by a deputy. This from Sheriff Schneider, quote, on Saturday, approximately 1:24 p.m., dispatch to 502 West 8th Street in Larimore. Initial information indicated that an individual had been shot at the residence. 2 deputies were in the city of Larimore and responded immediately. Multiple North Dakota Highway Patrol troopers were also in Larimore and responded immediately. Deputies were able to gather additional information that indicated a suspect had shot at a male and female in the residence, striking the male. The female fled the residence, going to a family member's home to call 911. Deputies were informed that the suspect was Troy R. Larson, 43 years old. Larson resides at the home. Deputies also learned the victim was Jamie Hallweger, 64, from Larimore. Hallweger was pronounced deceased at the scene. It was determined that Hallweger and Larson are related through the investigation. Officers established a perimeter around the residence and requested the regional SWAT team respond, along with negotiations team and regional UAS team. Upon their arrival, several repeated commands were given for Larson to peacefully surrender with no response. The SWAT team was able to breach the front door, and a UAS team flew a drone into the residence. They were able to identify that Larson was still in the residence when he hit the drone out of the air. Commands continued requesting a peaceful surrender. Upon breaching the window with the SWAT vehicle, Larson fired multiple rounds at the vehicle officers were in. SWAT team continued to repeatedly request a peaceful surrender. Tactical orders introduced an irritant into the residence in an attempt to get Larson to come out. After several minutes, Troy Larson exited the residence wearing a bathrobe. Multiple officers identified there was something weighing down one of the pockets on the robe. Troy Larson was given repeated commands to comply and keep his hands in the air. Larson started to reach his hands down and was ordered very quickly to get his hands up, and he did comply. Larson was being ordered into a position to be handcuffed safely. While being given commands, Troy Larson became non-compliant and, facing away from the officers, reached both his hands down, including toward his right pocket. At this time, Grand Forks County Sheriff Sergeant Ryan Wadlow fired one round from his agency-issued AR-15, striking Larson in the back. Simultaneously, another Grand Forks County deputy deployed a 40-millimeter direct impact round, striking Larson in the back. Larson continued to refuse to comply with commands, even reaching back into his pockets while aggressively being ordered not to. Officers gave repeated instructions for Troy Larson to comply so they could render aid. Eventually, officers tactically approached Larson and secured him in handcuffs. Larson was treated on the scene by SWAT team paramedics and transported to Altru.
And as we reported, Larson has now been found not criminally responsible because of mental illness. A trial for him has been canceled. A hearing later this month will begin the process of determining Larson's fate. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.